So hi, my name is Oma, and this isn't my first video that I've ever posted on YouTube. It's probably gonna be the first that I ever keep up. Because I was just, the videos that I posted in the past, I was really insecure about how I looked, how I sounded, and all that jazz. But like, when I tell you I'm in a better place, I'm in a better place. Therapy works, guys. It's expensive as fuck. Not everybody's insurance covers it, but therapy works. Even just talking to like somebody, it works. But what is this? There's a bump in this braid. Ooh, she's getting on my nerves. It's not gonna go away. I'm gonna have to undo the whole braid, which I'm not about to do. Oh, that's better. When I started my YouTube channel, it was on a whim. I had found a lot of black girls who looked like me and sounded like me and act like me and were from where I'm from, had interests like me, and I was like, in all of my years of, browsing YouTube, I won't date myself and tell you how old I am, but, YouTube's been around for a good minute, and so have I. I've never really seen girls that look like me, or non-binary people, or just people in general. I've never seen people that looked and acted and I could relate to, right? So I started my YouTube channel, and I was not in a good space at all. I wanted to be more confident, but I just wasn't. I came from, I'm not gonna say I was a popular kid. I was well known in the city where I'm from, in the circles, that I ran in. I was, a Pop Warner cheerleader, if any of you know what that was. I was an all-star cheerleader, went to Worlds and everything. I was a high school cheerleader. I was captain from like 10th grade, which is not really heard of at most schools. I was known, but I wasn't popular. But with what came with being known was the how do I want to say this? I got a lot of backwards ass compliments as a teen, preteen, and a kid, because like, colorism's a thing, guys. Like that, we're not gonna get into that deep in this video, but I have to touch on it because I've dealt with it. But I was the darkest person in my group as far as girls went. There were how many people were in my group? I was really close with this one girl. I don't really want to say anybody's names because we don't really talk like that anymore. But I was really close with this one girl who was around my complexion. I'm a lot lighter now that I live in Georgia, and it's not like, hot and sunny year round. But when I was living in California, I was super dark, which was great. Then I didn't know that then, but now I regret not embracing who I was. But there was another girl who I was really close with. We had basically all our classes together, and she was still lighter than me. Not a good bit lighter than me, but it was noticeable. And I feel like she went through the same things too, because we like kind of ran in the same circles. But I would always get comments like, "Oh, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl. You're so pretty for a black girl. You're one of the only dark skins that I think is cute." And at the time, I was young and dumb. I was like 15, 16 in high school. I was like hyped because I was getting attention that I never really got, because outside of going to the school that I went to, I had like a whole separate life I was living, where I was one of the only black girls, not just dark-skinned girls. So I was excited to be getting attention from people who I wanted to get attention from. I dated a couple boys and girls here and there, and they all kind of said the same thing, which is so wild to me now. Like, I would never take that shit now, but I also I didn't value myself. I didn't know any better. I didn't know that there were dark-skinned people. I'm about to cry thinking about this high school trauma. Oh my God. First video and I'm in tears. I didn't know that there were people that looked like me, that were confident. I'm really about to cry. I wish I had the energy to edit this video. I'm just gonna leave all this ugly shit in here. I didn't know that. So I grew up with this kind of nagging voice in the back of my head that was always like, you're a real pretty girl to die for, but you're really dark, and we're just, we're not fucking with that. So there was that. I'm so glad I'm getting my eyelashes, or I'm redoing my eyelashes tomorrow, because these bad boys are gonna come out. These tears, oh my god, I'm a baby. I'm really emotional, guys. Like, I'm super emotional. But I grew up with that nagging voice in the back of my head. I grew up with aunties in the summertime in California. I lived in Inglewood, California for 18 years of my life before my mom moved us to Georgia, and I went to college in North Carolina. Like, so sunny Southern California. Like, if you've ever been to California or literally know anything about California, it rains maybe like a month altogether out of the year. Every other day it's hot. Well, it was back then, global warming's fucking shit up now. But I lived with aunties who would be like, darker than me. That is the gag, bitch. I lived with aunties darker than me who would be like, stay out of the sun, baby. You're gonna get too dark. You're gonna get darker than you already are. Nobody's gonna want you. Aunties, like, kin to me. That shit is wild. I was gonna say some tea, but family might happen upon this video, so I'm gonna leave that where it's at. So all that happened in high school. I was sort of confident because I was known, but then my mom got a job in Georgia. I got on-site acceptance to HBCU. And my dream at the time was to go to an HBCU because I wanted fellowship. I wanted the HBCU experience, which was terrible for me, but I wanted that experience. So I was like, that's fine. I'll just, we'll move, because I had the choice. I got accepted to colleges in California. I got accepted to UC Irvine, and I got accepted to USC. But my family was coming to the East Coast, South-ish, so I wasn't gonna stay back in California, even though my whole life was there. I was like, 18 now. It's time for me to start blossoming, yada, yada, yada. New year, new life, new me, all that bullshit. So we moved to Georgia in 2000. I was about to date myself. We moved to Georgia years ago after I graduated high school. And a month after we moved to Georgia, it was time for me to go, get my dorm and everything, go to school. So when I got to school, I went to Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina, the first HBCU. Know your roots. And I was like flabbergasted because there were so many pretty dark girls, like everywhere. They were literally all over the school and confident as fuck. And I'm like, my faux confidence, I was like, I'm brand new. I can reinvent myself, but god damn it, I am fucking terrified because what if nobody likes me? What if it's just like high school where I'm kind of known, but nobody really fucks with me that hard because I am this dark, and there are girls that are lighter than me and prettier than me. I ended up getting into like this really weird situationship with this other dark girl who I joined the band. They actually hunted me down, and I auditioned. And hi, sweetie. They hunted me down, and I auditioned, and I made the band. And there were, even just in dance line alone, there were other really, really pretty dark-skinned girls who I ended up crossing, Diamond Sensation with, and I still love y'all to this day. I was like, yo, these girls are dark, and like their confidence seems real. Like, which sounds shady as fuck now, but like, 18-year-old me was like, this shit is wild, because where I'm from in Inglewood, like, dark was not an okay thing back in them days. Like, it just, you were dark and it was cute for a little bit, it was cute for superficial, but I'm not trying to have kids with you because then our kids gonna be dark type shit. We will touch on that another day, but I'm gonna leave that where it's at. But I ended up getting into this situationship with this girl who was in the band. She's also dark. I'm gonna say, we almost said her name. I want to say old girl was darker than me, but I can't really remember because I was still pretty dark from California. I mean, it was summertime in North Carolina, which, if you know, you know. And she made me feel beautiful. Like, she made me feel good to be as dark as I was. She made me feel good to look the way I look. She made me feel good to, she just made me feel good. And it sucks that so much fucked up shit happened with us, and like that situation, relationship, or whatever was not healthy. Actually, now that I think about it, none of the situationships I had at Shaw were healthy, but I also really didn't fit in at Shaw. I'm also gonna leave that where it's at. So, you know, I leave Shaw. I got really sick. Didn't do well in any of my classes after that second semester. I was sick all the time. I literally just stayed in my room. I never went to class. Grades plummeted. I had like a 1.5. That was terrible. So I came home. I was like, Mom, I don't want to try again. I want to come home. So I came home and I ended up meeting this girl who lived in my complex, which was really wild. This is bad. See, I'm about to date myself. If you know, you know. But Down E-Link or Downlink, I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. That used to be a thing, right? The gays love Downlink. I love Downlink. If I was still about that life and there was another site like that, I'd be all up and through that bitch. But we sidetracked. I met that girl and she was also dark. I think we were about the same complexion, and me coming off of what I came off of with that situationship my freshman year in college, and then being really, really sick for a long time, feeling really unattractive. She also made me feel good. Another dark skinned woman. And then I got a job at a lab here in Georgia. If you know me personally, you know I worked at a lab for a really long time. I met this guy, way older than me, had absolutely no business fucking him at all. No business. Goddamn, that sex is good. He, for the short period of time that we were involved, worshipped the ground that I walked on. And that also made me feel really, really good. There's a thing with these things, you see. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But it was a fetish. Like, he fetishized the fact that I was like some cocoa brown skinned goddess or whatever. And it made me feel good again because I was young. I was when I came home from college, from freshman year, before I went back to get my associates, I was 19. I was a baby, like a baby. Ooh, I keep dating myself. Anyway, I was a baby. I really didn't know any better. I was not socially aware, so all of these faux compliments and fetishizing and things, besides the two, I felt like those two relationships that I mentioned with the women were genuine in their attraction to me, and then my confidence grew. Notice I did not say self-confidence. I do just confidence. I didn't learn until the good old Tumblr days, when Tumblr was like big and booming, you know, porn everywhere, the good old days. I got on Tumblr, which is actually where I met Johnny, and I did not know that I was not self-confident until I got on Tumblr. Back then, you had to have some thick skin to deal with some of the shit that came in those anonymous messages on Tumblr. I remember telling like a short version of this story when I got big on Tumblr. Cause I got pretty big, you know, a couple thousand followers, but I realized that really wasn't my thing. Like, I kind of like to be in the shadows and backgrounds. Like, I'd rather run the show than be the star of the show type person, which is ironic because I'm here on YouTube, but I felt like I had something to say, so I'm saying it. I told a similar story to this. Like, it was this story, but it was like a short version, which a lot of the stuff that's coming was left out because it hadn't happened yet. But this really, 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 really beautiful girl came in my DMs. I actually don't know if she identifies as, I actually don't know if they identify as girl. This really, really beautiful, feminine person came into my DMs and said, you know, my story was beautiful, was gorgeous. They're so proud of my growth, but they think I still have some growing to do because it doesn't sound like self-confidence. It just sounded like I was confident in the compliments I was getting. And at the time, that drag had me heated. That drag had me heated. I was like, who does this bitch think she is? I'm popping. Do you see all my thousands of followers? Blah, blah, blah. Which I thought I was popping. I mean, I was internet popping, but I wasn't like okay. I was not self-confident like she said. Like, she saw straight through the little facade I had. And that started a spiral. When I say a spiral, a needed spiral, but it was a bad one. I did not feel confident at all. The compliments started to make me feel empty. Really empty. And nothing was filling that void. I was so low on my confidence that I jumped into a relationship with someone from Tumblr, not Johnny, but someone from Tumblr who was manipulative and low-key emotionally abusive. I let them not being healed and their issues affect me in the simplest terms. I let that affect me, and it broke me down. I felt really low. I felt like I wasn't good enough for anybody after that. That ended. It was really bad because they weren't like huge on Tumblr, but they had a good following. And I don't know, like the breakup it was really bad and it made me feel really bad, and I was at a really, really, really low point. In comes therapy and pills and Johnny. Also, Johnny's the only person I really name in this because like we live together, so like they're the only person I still talk to. Lost my train of thought. Oh, in comes Johnny and therapy, and it was really, really rough for like, I want to say a year and a half. I was really, really low for a year and a half. And I don't really want to talk that much in depth about therapy, but just know that she picked me apart. My therapist picked me all the way apart. Like, dragged me to hell and back. I needed it, but therapy is rough. Therapy hurts when you are not ready. Growth hurts when you are not prepared. And that year was really bad, and it took me a long time to grow. I'm still going now. I'm not, at my final form. As most would say, I'm still glowing up. But I say all this to say that, 15-year-old me and me now, years and years and years, over a decade later, I wish, I'm getting emotional again. I wish I could tell 15-year-old me what, late 20s me knows now. She would have been unstoppable, fam. Like, she would have been so better off if I just had somebody back then to tell me, like, if I had somebody to tell me that all those compliments compliments were backhanded, and that I needed to love me and stop worrying about what other people thought of me on the outside. And I'd be like a motivational speaker or something right now. I would be, not saying my life isn't great, but it took me a long time. It took me over a decade, like I just said, to get this little bit of actual, genuine self-confidence that I have now. Over a decade. Over a decade, Phil. I just wish, again, I say all this to say that I don't want to summarize this. That love within will save your life. It will make things so much easier once you finally let that cultivate. Once you plant that seed and love yourself and stop worrying about what anybody else says about anything. Know your worth. And like, the universe will work in your favor when you learn to love yourself as the universe that you are. I promise. A decade later, and I'm doing so much better. Granted, I'm an emotional ass crybaby, and I still have a whole lot of issues. This little bit of confidence that I have now, I wish I had a tenth of it back when I was like a freshman, sophomore in high school. I wish I had a quarter of a tenth of that in college. I wish I could go back and tell 15-year-old me, like, girl, you might not be the shit yet, but you are so good, and you are so worthy. There was a thread, not a thread, a hashtag on Twitter that made me think of this, and it was like, Dear Me 10 years ago or something like that. I'm pretty sure that was the exact hashtag. And I just wish I could tell, 15-year-old me all the stuff that I learned in therapy as an adult. She would have been so happy. But I'm gonna stop crying. That was my message for the day. I have no idea what I'm gonna let this channel do. I don't think it's gonna be very YouTubey, and jump cuts and intro and everything. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna get on here and talk and show y'all my raw and ugly life. Like, what snot run down my nose and tears still falling. I don't know yet, but I'll see y'all next time. Ooh, child, and the emotions are still flowing. Like, I'm legit still crying. I said I wasn't gonna edit this, but I'm just gonna add this clip in here because I just watched it back. This video was for me because I needed it. I really needed to talk. I needed to talk about this in particular, but this video is for every little dark-skinned Black kid who did not have someone like me. And of course, there's thousands, millions of us now that are dark-skinned and confident and standing in our true self-confidence. But not all of us are visible. I mean, again, because colorism, we're gonna leave that where it's at. This is for y'all. This is for the babies that need someone to be vulnerable. I did not have anybody to be vulnerable when I was 15. Clearly, you see what I just talked about. But this is for y'all. Like I said, over and over, and I'm always going to do this for y'all.